says it's up right now. In about 10 seconds, it'll actually be up. So,
is this live or do you guys rebroadcast?
It's live. We're on right now, actually. Hi, everybody. My name is Todd Jones. I'm President of Retail Mortgage for BBMC, and I am here today. We're broadcasting our Veterans Day special. We're here trying to bring awareness to the key partners through our Patriots Charity Initiative. And today we are lucky enough to have Spencer Kympton, the president of the Mission Continues, on the line with us here today. How you doing today, Spence?
I'm great. Thanks a lot, Todd. It's awesome to be here.
Well, hey, man, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know it's Veterans Day week, and I'm sure this is an extremely busy time for you guys. I can't thank you enough.
I got to send thanks your way and to the entire network and organization at BBMC. You guys have been a trusted and fantastic partner, certainly through the Patriots Charity Initiative, as well as, on the ground in the communities that we do the work. So, right back at you. I really appreciate all of BBMC's work and support. So,
it's our great pleasure. And actually, you know what? Let me lead off with a better question, just so for folks who are just getting to know you guys. What is the Mission Continues?
Yep, great place to start. So the Mission Continues, is a national nonprofit organization that is focused on empowering veterans to serve again. And this generation of veterans, the post 9/11 generation in particular, raised their right hand and said that they would serve in the military on many of our behalves over the last 15 years of conflict. Most of them have come home at this point, and now they are looking feverishly for their next mission. And we believe as an organization, and we believe as a generation of veterans, that they can find that next mission by serving in their community, whether that's mentoring at-risk kids or protecting the environment or working to eliminate a food desert. There are countless missions that our communities across the country are screaming out for, and we believe that the veterans who have come home and who are in our communities all across the country are assets that we can leverage. They're not liabilities in our communities. They are assets that we put to work again, strengthening our communities from within. And that's what we're doing. We're building a nationwide network of veteran service leaders, volunteer, who are kind of stacking and it's taken off. It's a great thing for veterans because they connect to a mission, they connect to a sense of purpose again. It's a great thing for our communities because they get, a disciplined set of individuals who, can employ things like concentration of fire and mass of effort on new missions that you wouldn't normally associate with, military concepts, but missions in our communities that we think veterans can truly add value. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to build this movement of veteran service leaders who are the vanguard and the model of how you get down and roll up your sleeves and tackle issues in the community.
Well, that's amazing. I've gotten to watch it firsthand. Thank you for your partnership. We've gotten to watch it firsthand and how it's grown and kind of expanded. And and I don't want to do all the talking, but at our leadership week, Meredith was nice enough to come out and do a presentation for us. And it's really, I think sometimes it's hard for people to understand how it all works together, but it's really amazing to see particularly how you define that veterans are a resource. They're not victims. They have special skills that they can bring into these communities and really make a difference. And we were fortunate enough to have an opportunity. Actually, a couple of my offices had an opportunity to volunteer with your platoons here recently. And the feedback that they get, not just from the feedback I get from them, but the feedback they get from the community is really, really moving. So I applaud you so much. This weekend, and this is where I kind of almost started off, but this weekend's Veterans Day, tomorrow's Veterans Day. And does the Mission Continues take that into account, or do you do anything particularly unusual for Veterans Day, or what does that mean to the Mission Continues?
Yeah, so Veterans Day is not a day off for us. I know it is for the rest of the country. I mean, this is our day, and we got a lot going on all across the country on Veterans Day. In fact, this year, we have a nationwide service campaign going on where in our largest locations, we have planned and are on the doorstep of executing a very large service project in cities across the country. So, for instance, I'm talking from DC today. I normally sit in New York, but I'm in DC because tomorrow in Congress Park, which is in southeast DC, across the Anacostia River, an area of DC that is not on the tourist circuit, quite honestly, and it's a place that whose residents are struggling with a set of challenges that prevent them from living the lives that they want to live and that they deserve to live. Our platoons service project that continues the work that we have been doing for the last year or two in DC, and will give a new shot in the arm to the work that we expect to continue to do in Congress Park over the next couple of years. But we're bringing everybody together on Veterans Day tomorrow to give that shot in the arm. I'll hop on the train tomorrow afternoon after that project's over and head back up to New York, where on Saturday, out in Brownsville in Brooklyn, a neighborhood that is dealing with many of the same challenges that Congress Park here in DC is dealing with. We'll be out at Osborne Playground in Brooklyn in Brownsville to, over the course of the day, revitalize an area of Brownsville that used to be a community meeting place, and we believe can be that meeting place and that hub for the community again. So in both cases, it's a bunch of veterans pairing with community members on the ground to try to help strengthen the community. And that's going on in Houston, that's going on in Chicago, that's going on in Seattle, that's going on in San Diego, that's going on in Boston, and many cities in between. So it's our nationwide service campaign that we're doing, and there are a lot of projects going on in one day, but this is really just a massing of what we do week in and week out in communities all across the country. But it is not a day off. It's Veterans Day, and we're about to show the country that veterans can be on the vanguard of this effort and on the grounds in our community.
That's awesome. I'm sitting here in Houston, and I'm sorry I didn't know that was going on. I should have double checked. Maybe I could get out there. Maybe
it's never too late. Never too late.
All right.
Frago, you can change your plans for this weekend.
All right. Very good. Hey, so you mentioned DC, and so I have to ask, we've just come out of this kind of contentious election cycle. Do you have a call to action? And I mean, you guys are doing the work to kind of heal these neighborhoods, to bring a civic duty to the forefront and what it means to be a good citizen. And do you have a call to action for folks as we for all intents and purposes, start the process of healing, hopefully?
Yeah, I think that, I'll get to the call to action in just a sec. I mean, look, it's been a pretty monumental week, in the course of our lifetimes.
You're not talking about the Cubs either, are you?
Well, I was going to mention the Cubs, but, pretty monumental week in that regard. It's tough as a Mets fan to give a high five to the Cubs, but I'll do it. Big week this week, and I think that the country spoke, and the country spoke along very slimly divided lines, but the country spoke, and the real misfortune in it all will be if we don't listen, right? If we don't collectively listen. And, Todd, you and I share the same alma mater. In fact, we were there at the exact same times. And, I've always been impressed with the fact that at the end of an Army-Navy game, right, which is one of the more brutal rivalries, right when the last second ticks off the clock, what do? both schools go over to one school and sing the alma mater, and then both teams go over to the other school in front of the entire Corps of Cadets or midshipmen and sing the alma mater. And at that point, we're one team, one fight again, right? And I think that that very same sentiment has to happen today and tomorrow and here on out. And I think that veterans can be the models of that across our country. They can be the examples of how we come together as one. I mean, for those of you who are in the military, know that when you walk into a day room in an infantry company, or you walk into the motor pool, or you walk along the flight line, wherever you are, it's you. People are from all over the country. People are from every demographic. People are of different political affiliations, but in that motor pool or on that flight line or in that infantry day room, they are one mission and one fight. And veterans have the ability, I think, to look at it in a very mission-focused way. And how do we now restore what our mission is as a country and come together as one behind it? And I think that having veterans on the ground, not your back, you've got my back, in the foxhole type mentality, and bring it here home. And then
You bring up a lot of terms there, the esprit de corps, I've got your back, that whole concept that there is a unique culture within the military. What misconceptions do you think that the civilian world has about veterans that maybe divides us more than brings us together?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think the misconception that we run up against most often is the misconception. It's even a well-intentioned misconception, but the misconception that veterans are broken. That they've served on our behalf, and that service has broken them. And something that we should be thankful for and grateful for that they did it, but all is a bit of a stigma, because we think we're got out of the military. So look, veterans from the military and military service are dealing with a set of challenges. Everyone is dealing with challenges in their lives, right? There are people who have grown up in neighborhoods that present unique challenges to their life in this country. Everyone is dealing with challenges. Veterans have unique challenges that might have arisen because of their service, but these are not broken individuals. They are individuals for whom we can be grateful that they served in the way that they served. But what we really need to do is communicate the fact that we still need them. We still need them leading from the front, and we.
it's a neat thought that the
The mission continues today is our fellowship program, and those are 6-month re-enlistments of service that are sponsored by the Mission Continues, where a veteran goes and serves those 6 months at an organization in his or her community, fighting one of those community issues, where they're working as a volunteer for 20 hours a week, and we're sponsoring them with living stipend and professional development and access to networks and things like that. So we've done over 1,700. We've awarded 1,700 fellowships, and in their community. In the and we're going to go out and as volunteers and in this new unit, we're going to tackle this and make our community stronger. So at this point, we have 66 service platoons that are across the country in over 30 cities. Some cities have multiple service platoons based on the geographic spread. But we're going to continue growing that concept. I mean, it's taken off. It's becoming the new way. This past year, we also introduced a new way to do this, and that's our mass deployment. Again, a deployment is very thing you deploy to go fix it or to go fight it, and it's a concept that we understand in the wake of natural disaster or one of those urban crises. So this past June in Detroit, we flew down to central Detroit. We flew 70 plus veterans in from all across the country, and over the course of 6 days, 18-hour days, we targeted some really hard-nosed work in central Detroit. And we're based on what we saw there, we're emboldened to build that program out, and we're going to be doing it on the web.
How can the everyday person get involved, or is this strictly for veterans? I mean, how can they get involved if they?
It is definitely not strictly for veterans. That's a great question, Todd. In fact, we made a decision very happily and very positively a couple of years ago that said, actually these service platoons, for instance, we would hold service platoons back if they were not integrated between veterans and community members. So you can join. I mentioned we have 66 platoons.
Yeah.
We're you can get involved. And again, we are open and welcome with open arms, veterans and non-veterans.
That's awesome. And just to reiterate, I'd highly suggest it. So it was a great experience for us. I think a lot of times people just don't know how to get linked up and find a way to give back. So if you're at all interested, go give it a shot out there. What do you guys have big planned for 2017?
Yeah. Well, I mentioned, that we're continuing to grow these service platoons. We've got 66 now, and we're adding, as we think of new operations in cities that we want to launch. We'll be launching other platoons to support those operations. We're going to continue with our mass deployment concept to the west side of Atlanta. Like I said, we have a nationwide initiative going on right now called Her Mission Continues, which is geared towards understanding and refining refining the general perspective around the unique challenges and the unique potential of women veterans. This is combines research as well as service, to bring a better understanding to that. And in 2017, we'll continue with our Women Veterans Leadership Summit. It'll be in San Francisco this year in May, and we're super excited about that. So, the fight goes on. We got reporting for duty is one of our kind of taglines, but our other ones, our call to action is actually Charlie Mike. In military vernacular, Charlie Mike stands for Continue Mission, and that's what we're doing in 2000. Other organizations who follow out is bringing veterans back into the fold as assets. What we're about is bringing veterans back into an environment where they're driven by a sense of purpose and where they are connected to a team and that esprit de corps and that camaraderie that they had when they were in the military, and replicating that and using it, quite honestly, to all of our advantage, right?
Absolutely. Sharing is a philanthropic concept, right? And just But stream. Continues as a primary recipient of those funds. Is there? Do you guys? How would somebody, if they wanted to give? Let's say, sometimes it's easier to give money than it is time. How do they go about giving and donating to Mission Continues?
Yeah.
There's a couple of thoughts. I think the her mission's pretty well thought out. I'm so day. It's your concept. It's so thoughtful and it's so well connected to really get it. But if you get the partner, I guess he was just became the governor-elect in Missouri.